Hello and good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to MSM Eton College eSummit 2020 Live. Thank you for connecting with us today. You are here with MSM and Eton College team, and we will ensure that this session will certainly add values to your knowledge and experience for Eton College. This session will be taken by none other than our campus director, Kalai Punya. Before we start, we would like to take you through the basic features of Zoom webinar. There are multiple options in the control panel. Please note that this is a webinar and your videos and mics will be inactive during the session. Participate in the webinar by raising your hands by the raise hand option present in your control panel. Any questions related to Eton College, please put the same in Q&A section that appears on your control panel. For any technical questions, you can put those in the chat box. If your questions are not answered during the webinar, we will be sending you an email with all the details. I will not take much of your time, and now I'm handing over to Kalai to take you through the Eton College presentation.
Thanks, Kavita, for making the nice and brief introduction. As Kavita has introduced me, my name is Kalai, and I'm the campus director for Eton College. And today we are here to listen to the Eton College presentation. Let's move on to the next slide. Right, so today we are going to cover three aspects. So in the presentation, I'll be talking to you about accreditations, the programs, what Eton College programs, what we offer. And finally, we will also be talking about pathway universities and enrollment too. So in the enrollment part, I'll also be talking, one of it is actually the pathway universities. Let's move on. There's a little bit of quote by Malcolm X. I don't have to repeat because it's legible. You can read it. Let's move on to the next screen. That is actually where the Eton College is actually situated.
My name is Jaskandev Kaur and I'm studying in Eton College. I've been here since 3 years and I took the hospitality management course and it's really good and the teachers are really nice because you know in Canada life it's so hard to just manage everything, like you have to do work, you have to go to college, you have to do the household work as well, but this college is really good. And the teachers who give the assignment, they're really nice. They just give us an extra time and they always prioritize, like we just do our best. They also just provide us powerful notes that we can manage all our study at once, and they always give priority to enroll student instead of giving to the new upcoming students. Thank you.
This is Utkarsh and I am doing my co-op diploma in tourism and hospitality Canadian experience from Eton College, Vancouver. Eton College was established in the year of 2003 in the city of Vancouver. Vancouver is a major city in Western Canada and it is located in the mainland region of British Columbia. It is one of the most ethnical and linguistically diverse cities in Canada. I am looking toward to achieve my goals.
Hi, my name is Gulleen. I'm 21 years old and come from India in November 2018. Now I live in Surrey, BC. I have completed my 12th from San Jose Elite Convent School. Now I have taken travel and tourism management course. This is my first semester in Eton College. In my first day, I saw many people come from different countries. I think that it is so good to share your information, how's your culture, knowing each other better. I also saw the teachers are very talented, hardworking, and concerned about their studies. And they have helped us a lot with internship. My aim of life is to be a flight attendant and customer service. I think this is the good way to give me that. Thank you.
right, so those were some of the students who are studying with us. And as you can see, those were the international students, particularly from India, studying at Eton College in the Vancouver campus. Now, just a brief history of what is Eton. You have seen that one of the students was mentioning about when Eton College was established. It was established in 2003. It is actually located in downtown Vancouver. It's about 16 kilometers away from the Vancouver International Airport. And around that area, there are about 97 plus hotels, restaurants, cafeteria. Let's move on to the next slide. So why Eton College? I think this is the questions that most of you all wanted to hear. The way we teach the courses is actually a very applied basis. So it's not theoretical. So we bring a lot of practical experience into the classroom. And also you must also understand that I've actually begun to hire instructors, not on a full-time basis. We hire instructors from the industry and bring them into the classroom. And the reason I've done it is actually because if you bring someone from the industry, and the instructor is teaching the classes, the instructor is able to share the practical part of the experience that he has actually gone through into the classroom. So that makes the classroom very lively, very enjoyable. And smaller class setting, we do not allow any classes that are more than 20 students. So 20 students is the maximum. And the reason why we do it because by having small class setting, there's individual hands-on approach between the instructors and the students. Academic transfer options, I will talk to you all later on that. There's some good news coming in from there. Career focus and professional development. We do a lot of professional development activities, career focus activities. We bring industry experts into the college and provide them with a seminar or sometimes like a workshop to the students, and this will actually help them to actually enhance the practical experience and the learning experience. And we also have what we call as a practical course, which is the last course the students need to do before they graduate from Eton College. Next slide, please. So I just briefly mentioned about why Eton College and Vancouver City. The temperature in Vancouver City is very moderate. Today's temperature, I will let you know, I live in Vancouver. Today's temperature is 23 centigrade and we are already in summer. And I will tell you that 23 degrees centigrade is already super warm. So we are having a kind of like a hot weather today. And winters, would have never go anything below -5. I have lived in other provinces in Canada. In the neighboring province, which is actually Alberta, where I lived, during the winter temperatures can go as -45, and so you can actually compare. In Vancouver, it's only -5 degrees during the winter. So winters are moderate and not as severe and harsh. And you can check all these figures in the Wikipedia. Wikipedia has all this information. And Vancouver is a very nice city. It's a livable city. In terms of air quality, in terms of food, and it's a tourist attraction spot. So there are a lot of activities that the students and any tourists, when they come to Vancouver, they can actually engage upon and they can actually enjoy themselves. I've actually talked about why Eton College, smaller classes, nothing more than 20 students. We put that 10 to 30 students, but currently we are having classes that are no more than 20 students. Easy public transportation access. There's a Sky train that actually runs through the college. So students can actually take the train wherever they are living, come take the train, get down at the nearest station and walk to Eton College. So accessibility to Eton College by Sky train and buses are easily available. We have a cafe downstairs at the building where Eton College is actually located. In the Eton College, we run a program what we call as a flight attendant preparation program. And for that, we have an aircraft cabin simulator. The students will get into the simulator and they will do a lot of practical lessons in the aircraft cabin simulators, because when they graduate, they become flight attendants to airline companies. Carrying experienced instructors, as I've told you, we have very experienced, knowledgeable, highly qualified instructors, and there are many more which we can actually talk about it at a later time during the question and answer session. Let's move on to the next slide. accreditation. Okay, so the first thing you all have to know is Eton College has been certified by EQA, that's Education Quality Assurance, which is the designation given to public or private institutions in BC. So once we meet or exceed the quality standards, that designation is given to us. And we also, we are actually under the category 1, what we call as PTIB. PTIB is actually the BC Private Training Institution branch, which actually comes under the Ministry of Advanced Education of British Columbia. So we are actually an approved institution by the Ministry of Advanced Education in BC. And we are also a DLI approved institution. So you can actually check out the DLI numbers on the CIC-CA websites. And usually we will put the DLI approved institution number on the offer letters and also on the letter of acceptance when a student is being accepted into Eton College. Let's move on. Okay, partner institution, I have some good news for you. So you will see that the numbers of partner institutions are growing. We had Capilano University, as you can see the logo there, the Royal Roads University and Vancouver Community College, all this well. Sometime last month, we entered into a partnership agreement with Victoria University of Wellington. That university is actually a reputable university, it's based in New Zealand. So the students also have an opportunity not only to come to Canada to study and complete a degree, but also they can go to New Zealand after they have completed the Eton College diploma program. Now what happens is under the partner institution, the students will actually complete a Eton College diploma program. And once they have completed the Eton College diploma program, they will then transfer to these universities to complete a degree program. Now, as soon as they've done that, that student, once they've graduated from the partner institution, they are eligible to apply for a 3 years postgraduate work permit. I'm talking about the universities in Canada, not in New Zealand. New Zealand is a different ballgame altogether. So they will get a 3 years work permit, which is called the postgraduate work permit, and they're allowed to work for 3 years in Canada. What they're going to do after they have actually completed the postgraduate work permit, the 3 years is up to them, whether they want to apply for a permanent residency and settle down in Canada, or they want to return back to their home country and start career. It all depends on the student. Now, one good news is you will see there's a new university that I just signed the agreement yesterday, the articulation agreement. So that university is called City University of Seattle. It's a US university, but they have a Vancouver campus. So what happens is once the student has completed the Eton College diploma program, they will then transfer to the City University of Seattle in the Vancouver campus and actually complete a degree program. It's a business program. It's a business degree program. And once they've actually completed the degree offered by City University of Seattle, the students can also get a postgraduate work permit and start working for 3 years in Canada. So that is actually a new addition which we signed yesterday. So that's some good news there. Let's move on our programs, Eton College programs. Okay, so before I start, I just would like to actually highlight to you, we have single programs and we have what we call as double programs, or sometimes I will call it as combined programs. So single programs are just one programs, and it's very simple. We have a flight attendant preparation program, we have a hospitality program, we have a travel and tourism management program, and we also have a business administration program. And recently we have also launched another program called the Hospitality and Travel Management Co-op Experience Program. So that's another program. Now, majority of the students, when they come to Eton College, they don't actually stick to one single program. They will actually combine the programs. So for example, flight attendant preparation, the students will take flight attendant preparation, complete the program, and then they will get into a travel and tourism program. The same thing, the student can take a flight attendant preparation program and then combine it with a hospitality management. So the list goes on, hospitality and travel and tourism, or BA and hospitality management, or BA and travel and tourism management. Now, I have seen some students taking 4 combined programs. So they will start out with flight attendant program, then they will get into travel and tourism, then they will actually finish the hospitality management. Then they will complete the BA administration. It's permissible, but it all depends, what the students want. But 95% of the students will take 2 programs, combine it together, and they will study for a maximum of 2 years. And there's a reason why the students do that. By studying with 2 years with us, the student only need to do another 2 years of a degree program when they cross over to the pathway universities, which I just showed to you just now. Let's move on. It's a continuation of the programs that you see BA, that's a single program, but the students will actually take BA and combine it with travel and tourism, or BA in hospitality. Then I've just told you there's another core program, which is called the Tourism Hospitality Canadian Experience Core Program. That program is actually mainly geared for international students, because international students who are taking these programs, they have a lot of working experience. So less time in the class, less theory in the classroom, and more practical experience outside by working in organizations. We have actually what we call a business environment communication program. I do not want to actually talk to you in detail about that. It's basically an English program, and that program is actually we offer it to students who do not meet the IELTS requirement. There's a certain score that students got to meet. If they fail to meet at least one score lower, then we get the students to take the business environment communication program, complete it before they move into the actual program. Employment industry. So there's a lot of things that we can do here. As I told you, we have professional development programs. These are ongoing programs as the student actually, they study at Eton College. We do a lot of career preparation workshops, seminar. We invite industry guest speakers to college, and we do kind of like a seminar or workshop with them. We conduct job fairs, so we invite employers to the college and actually have employment booths where the students and the employers will interact. The students will submit the resume, and and that's how they get connected. And then the student complete the program, the students will be able to find a job or practicum with those employees. Industry. Vancouver is the 3rd largest tourism destination in Canada. In 2018, it served about 21.13 billion of tourists who visited BC. $97.4 billion is actually coming to Canada as a revenue under the tourism industry. 300,000 employment opportunities in the tourism and hospitality industry in BC, and the air transportation is the largest service industry in Canada. Let's move on. Okay, these are actually the admissions requirements. So the admissions requirements is, number 1 is they should have completed a high school diploma. It doesn't matter where they did the high school diploma, as long as they've done a grade 12 high school diploma, they are accepted. So it can be a local BC high school, or it can be an international high school, grade 12 high school. I'm not too worried about the second requirement, which is the meet grade 10, because majority of the students have the grade 12. So let's move on to the others. So the first thing is, the most important thing is they must actually have grade 12. Let's move on. Yeah. The second one is they must meet one of the English proficiency requirements. Usually the students will take IELTS, and the minimum overall band is a score of 6.0. So they got to get the 6.0 in order to meet the English proficiency requirements. Now, I've just told you what happens if the students do not have the score test, the score 6.0. Then what we do is we actually get the students to take the business environment communication program, pass it, and move into the actual program at Eton. Let's move on. Okay, I think that's all questions. Let's move to the question and answer session.
So Kalai, we have a couple of viewers who joined us after the slide of articulation program. So if you can just take them through that again, the new tie-ups and the post-study work visa, it will be.
Sure. So you want to go back? Okay, so do you want me to continue from here?
Only this slide, Kalai, only the pathway options,
Oh,
because
okay, all
some
right.
of the members have joined
Right.
us
So,
late. Yes.
so for those of them who missed my the information which I've given here, uh, all this time we had three pathway universities for Eton College. So number one is the Capilano University, number two is the Royal Roads University, and number three is the Vancouver Community College. All of these universities actually, all of these institutions are actually based in Vancouver. One is actually based in the Royal Roads is actually based in Victoria, but they're all in the province of British Columbia. Now, last month, we actually entered into a new partnership with a university in New Zealand, which is called the Victoria University of Wellington. I can give you a little bit of information of that. What happens is Victoria University of Wellington accepts 1.5 years of the Eton College program, because in New Zealand, most of them are actually 3 years degree. It's not a 4 years degree as compared to Canada. In Canada, it's a 4 years degree. So they complete a 2 years Eton College program, which is equivalent to a 1.5 years of the degree course in Victoria University of Wellington. So the student travel to Wellington, Victoria University of Wellington, and take a degree program, which is only for another 1.5 years. And New Zealand has the same postgraduate work permit. I'm not so sure about the details of it, but I do understand, I'm totally aware that there's a postgraduate work permit or equivalent of the work permit in New Zealand, where the students, after they've graduated, they can actually work in New Zealand, and that actually comes to their, the points actually count towards their, to their permanent residency in New Zealand. Now, the good news is yesterday I signed actually a partnership agreement with City University of Seattle. It's a US university, but they're based in Vancouver. They have a campus in Vancouver. So what happens, the same thing, when the student complete the Eton College degree, the Eton College diploma program, the students will transfer to City University of Seattle in the Vancouver campus, complete program, get a degree, and these students are also eligible to apply for the postgraduate work permit for a period of 3 years. So when they get the work permit, they're allowed to work anywhere in Canada for 3 years. And after the 3 years, they can actually decide whether they want to actually apply for their permanent residency and settle down in Canada, or if they want to return, if they wish to return back to their home country, it's up to them. They can go back home and start a career. Now, the Capilano University and the Royal Roads University and the Vancouver Community College, all these universities where the students are actually studying a degree program, they are eligible to apply for a postgraduate work permit for the 3 years. Hi, Kapil.
So, Kalai, we have a few questions in our
Yeah,
Q&A section.
I'm just looking at the questions.
Yeah.
I can see Kapil has actually asked a question. Can you please tell
Yes.
academic entrance requirements on Neapolitans? Same thing, grade 12 high school, English proficiency is IELTS. They have to get a score of 6.0. Isha has actually asked, please confirm whether Eton College issuing offers on conditional basis of IELTS. Not so sure of what she's actually asking, Isha. What do you mean by conditional basis of IELTS? Not so sure.
Okay, so Kalai, she's asking that if a student has not is yet to give the IELTS, or the IELTS result is awaited, can the student apply for a conditional offer letter, and the condition can be, the result of IELTS, or student meets the IELTS requirement?
Okay. So what happens is when the student makes an application and does not meet the IELTS requirement or have not sat for the IELTS requirement, we will issue an offer letter, and on the offer letter, we will put a condition that the student must meet that condition. Take the IELTS, pass it, get a score of 6.0. Now, in the event the student doesn't get the IELTS of 6.0, now there are two ways of getting into Eton College. Number one is get into the Business Environment Communication program. It's a 3 months program, and they take the 3 months program. Sometimes they don't have to complete the entire 3 months. They usually go by levels. So level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is every level is for each one month. So when the student gets into a level 1 and the student is able to prove that the student has good commanding in English, good proficiency in English, the instructor will then recommend that the student bypasses the level 2 and level 3 and get into the actual program. So it's all in the hands of the students and the instructors, how the students is actually working on the business environment communication program. Now, the other way is if the student doesn't meet the IELTS, the 6.0, particularly at this difficult times where the students are actually still in their home country, we have what we call as an Eton College English Placement Test. And the test is actually done over a website. So the recruiters will actually provide the access to the website, and the students will go into the website and take the English placement test. And they have a benchmark. They got a score that they're going to meet. If they meet the score, then they don't have to do the IELTS, and they can come to Eton College. Now, having said all that, the only issue that will arise is if they don't have an IELTS at the time they enter into Eton College, and the students actually complete the diploma program, and then they want to transfer to a pathway university. The pathway university do require IELTS strictly. So it's better for the students to take IELTS at the time they enter into Eton College, rather than taking the IELTS after they have actually started at Eton College and before they are getting into the pathway university. I hope I've answered that question. Jyoti Rame is asking about, are there any UGC program? I believe it's a graduate certificate program. So we haven't got into that. We will be making some submissions to our regulatory authorities for the graduate certificate program. So it'll take anything between 6 months to a year for the approvals to be given. Scholarships available? Not now. But the recruiters, the recruitment team can actually explain to you in a little bit of detail. Go on, Kavita, because we have actually given all these rebates and refunds, for students who are currently taking all the Eton College courses online. So, Kavita, I will leave it to you to explain how the bursaries are given to the students.
Right. So Kalai, thank you. And so we currently, due to the tough situation of pandemic, which is going on right now, we are offering online program, and the online program is for students who are already holding a valid student visa. Now, here we are offering this program for 2990 CAD per semester, which is very, very reasonable. The students can start their program online. And I think, Kalai, once the pandemic situation is over, they can also come and join us on campus and continue their remaining studies.
Right. Just to add you on, just to add on here, 2 days ago, the Canadian government has actually issued a statement to say those students, once they have the visas, once they have the study permit, and they cannot come to Canada because of the current situation, because the international borders are still closed, these students are allowed to take the courses of the university or the institution in India or wherever in their home country is online. And once they have actually completed the courses and for a maximum of 2 years, and then they have to actually cross over to Canada, those online courses they've taken in their home country are counted as points towards their postgraduate work permit. So they're not losing anything by taking the online courses. So that's a very good positive piece. Yeah. Even countries like US and Australia and New Zealand have not done anything, but Canada is very proactive and very supportive. So they have made the announcement, and that is actually so attractive to international students who cannot cross over because of the current pandemic situation, by sitting at home and taking the online classes.
Yes, that is a good news, Kalai. And the second bursary, or you can say, the discount that we offer is on our co-op program. So we have something called as Tourism and Hospitality Canadian Experience Co-op. Now here we offer a student discount of 7,000 CAD for a student applying for this program. So Kalai, I would like you to put some highlight on this as well.
Yep, that's right. The co-op program that we were talking about, the students get a maximum of 7,500 Canadian dollars of scholarship, worth of scholarship. I can't remember offhand what is the total tuition fees, but something that, if you actually ask my recruitment team, they'll be able to share the details. But out of the total tuition fees, we will give the students 7,500 Canadian dollars worth of scholarship.
Yes. That's right, Kalai. So
Right.
moving
There's
on
a
to
question by Kapil here.
next.
Nepali
Yeah.
students. Sorry, Kavita, you missed something. Go on.
Yes, Kalai, I was going to this next question.
Yeah, so Kapil is asking, Nepali student is 60 or 65%, do you want to take this question? Kavita.
So yeah. So Kapil, for us, irrespective of the country, the admission requirement remains the same. So we look forward for a grade 12 student with 55% in their grade 12. Now, sometimes you have grading system instead of percentage. So in such schools, you can ask the school to provide a grade conversion sheet, like grade conversion mark sheet, and you have to just make sure that the student is meeting 55%. So our requirement does not change country wise. So we have 55% for all the students applying globally.
Right. The next question is Harpal Singh. He is actually asking how much credit is earned by the student after 2 years of study at Eton. So in principle, after 2 years of study, the student only need to transfer to the Pathway University and take the remaining 2 years. So provided they take a combined program, if you have listened to the information I've given just now, my presentation, if you take a combined program, that comes to 2 years. So they do 2 years at Eton and then transfer to the Pathway University and take the other 2 years. However, if the student is actually only taking one single program, that comes to about 1 year, which means that the students need to spend 3 years at the Pathway Universities. So it all depends on how long the student is actually going to spend at Eton by taking and studying the program. Saloni Garg scholarship, I think we have actually talked about that just now.
Yes. Also to add on to Harpal Singh's question, so I would like to inform that if a student is studying at Eton for 2 years, they are earning 60 credits, right? So per year they earn 30 credits.
Right. So usually in a Canadian university, so just to add on here, in a Canadian university, the student needs to take a minimum of 120 credits to graduate from a university. So at Eton, they do 60 credits, so they have a remaining of 60 credits. That's the 60 credits they will actually take when they cross over to the Pathway University, complete the 60 credits, and graduate, and then they are eligible for the postgraduate work.
Yes, Kalai. So the next question that we have is 5.5 in 2 modules accepted?
Yes and no. Usually, I will only allow one component to be less than one score lower, which is a 5.5. Even that, the students will come into Eton, but they still have to take the business environment communication program. So if they have 2 modules that are 5.5, I usually will say no, and the student got to take the IELTS or take the English placement test of the Eton College and get into it. So it's only one band if they have a 5.5, I will say, okay to get entry into the Eton College, but they have to take the business environment communication program completed before they move into the actual program.
Right, Kalai. Kalai, I would also like you to highlight certain things like, the classes that we have, or the weekly number of classes that we have weekly, and the, current scenario that's going on.
Okay. Before I started as a campus director, I saw classes actually practically they will run every day. So it was like a Monday to Friday class, and that's, to me, that's not workable. That's not conducive for the students. Put it that way, because students, international students who are coming to Canada, they also have to make a living. Because I know that cost of living in Vancouver is actually not that cheap. It's very high. It's one of the highest, one of the most expensive city in the world. So the cost of living is very high, so students need to work. So what I did was, we looked around, and then we started restructuring the class timetable. So we are now only conducting, like, for example, business administration. They only have to come to class 2 times a week. It depends on the days. So they come to, so let's say we have a class on Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday, they spend the whole day in the class. And on Thursday, they come back and they spend the whole day in the college taking the courses, which means that will leave them free on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. There's a lot of time there. So what are they going to do during the time? They can work. International students are allowed to work 20 hours per week. It's actually provided, it's allowed. And they also have time for them to do their homework, to do their assignments, to do the projects. So that gives a lot of leeway for the students, and it makes learning more enjoyable. Is there any? I thought there was another question that you wanted to ask. You wanted me to address. Current pandemic situation.
Yes, Kalai.
Yeah, the current pandemic situations, because we are taking very cautious steps in not actually having face-to-face classes. It is not. I'm not saying it's not permissible. It's not a healthy environment, because we don't know what is going to happen when we open the classes and the students are coming to college and taking the face-to-face classes, because the pandemic situation is still serious. So what we have done is we have actually moved all the classes to online, and the students can take the online classes anywhere, and the instructors are actually teaching the online classes. We have what we call as a Zoom platform, where the classes are actually being taught. So it is not actually an online teaching, it is actually a virtual teaching, and just need to make some corrections there, because people misunderstand what is online and virtual teaching. Online means, you study the materials, there's work there, you complete the assignment and it's done. So they are not online classes, but they are virtual teaching classes. So the students still have to attend the classes. There's an instructor sitting in the Zoom meeting, teaching the classes, doing work with the students. They still have to submit the assignments. They are assessed, they're graded, and the whole thing. Just that there's no face-to-face interaction, but it is actually over a screen, which is a Zoom screen. So it's virtual learning.
Right, Kalai. Kalai, we have a question here. Just excuse me. Yeah, what is the post-landing procedure for a student? So, like, airport pickup or temporary.
Yeah, we have something what we call, we had a student services coordinator, and then the student services coordinator. Now we have a new one. Usually we will actually welcome the students at the airport, right? And we don't actually provide accommodation, but we have what we assist the students in terms of finding accommodation. We have recently actually entered into an agreement with a consortium of a company here, a consortium, where they do provide accommodation. So we guide the students to go into the website, get into the website, look at all the accommodations that are available and provided. And from there, the students will choose which type of accommodation they want to actually live in. But majority of the students from India, because, we have actually a city here called Surrey. And in the Surrey, they have a lot of relatives and friends. So usually the students will actually stay in with their relatives and friends. So we don't have any issues in terms of accommodations. Usually the students will find accommodations on their own and need less assistance with us. So of course, pick up from the airport is actually available.
Yeah, right, Kalai. So Kalai, we have a question here. We have one student whose IELTS is 9, 9, 9, and 8.5. I think it's like 8.5, no modules less than 9. And in writing, they have 92% marks, and 10th plus 2 the student has done with 92%. And what sort of scholarships can we offer him?
There's no actually a general scholarship, but if the student can write to me, I can actually consider of actually providing some form of scholarship. Right, because we don't have we don't have a criteria of that. But if the student can write to me, give the student my email address, ask the student to write to me, and then if the student is really interested, first the student must be accepted. So the student got to submit everything and must get accepted, and the student must have paid all the fees, And then after that, we can actually provide the scholarship. So scholarship is available. It's actually treated on a case-to-case basis, but the student got to write to me.
Sounds good, Kalai. So Kalai, I think we have answered most of the questions now. I have two attendees who have raised their hand. I believe they would like to ask the question live. So
Sure.
can I, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Naveen. Hello. Naveen, can you hear us?
Hi, Naveen. I think we have lost the call.
Okay, right.
I can see two participants have raised their hand. Are they actually ready to talk and ready to ask questions?
Yes, Kalai, I think we have one.
Can you actually take the
so
call?
I'll allow her to talk. Yeah. Yes. Hi, Rupinder. Good morning.
Hi, very good morning. I just want to ask that one of my student who has done BSc in hotel management and she is interested for PG diploma. So she's already offered for 8 months tourism, 8 months course. So I just want to ask, like he's concerned, she is like concerning that is this diploma is for the one academic year, or after completion of this, if she'll get 1 year more program in Capilano, then she is eligible for the 3 years work permit.
Okay, so I didn't get your question. Let me clarify with you. So she did the Eton College program. Is that what you're trying to say?
She has done BSc Hotel Management and she is now going to do your 8 months program, 8 months program in tourism and hospitality.
Okay, so she's going to take a single program.
Yeah, she's going to take a single program, and she's just concerned that if she'll get admission in Capilano after completion of this course for more 1 year program, then she'll be eligible for the 3 years work permit.
That's right. So what she has to do is, she will come to Eton and take 8 months diploma program, and then she will cross over to Capilano to do another diploma program, which is actually for 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's a diploma program. It's not a degree program. So as soon as she has finished that diploma program at Capilano University, the student is entitled for the postgraduate work permit for the period of 3 years.
Like this 8 months diploma is equivalent to 1 academic year.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. Thanks, Kalai. Thanks a lot.
Right, no worries.
Thank you, Rupinder.
Thank you.
Okay. So Kalai, we have a couple of more questions now. We have a question that do you accept students from NIOS? Yes, we accept students from NIOS, distance learning and open schooling, but the student has to meet the admission requirement. And as I mentioned, that the requirement remains the same, that is 55% in your grade 12, and the IELTS requirement of 6 with no module less than 5.5.
Correct. You said it very rightly.
Kalai, we have one more question, so thank you for replying, but I want to know, in case the student opts for online studies before getting visas, and by chance the visa gets denied, then the student gets a refund with deduction of 400 CAD. Kalai, I would like to take this question.
Sure.
So, yeah, so the thing is that the online programs that we are offering are only for students with a valid study permit. So there is no chance of a visa refusal, because we are only allowing a student who is having already a student visa to come and study our online program, so that once the pandemic situation is better, the student can come and join us on campus. Kala, you would like to add on here?
No, you said it very precisely, and the information that you have given is so accurate. So that's about it. Right? So
Okay.
The basic principle is the student must have a valid study permit before getting into the Eton College and to take the online program, the online courses.
Right, Kala. Kalai, one more question. So we are accepting NIOS and open learning, but then is the partner university also accepting it?
So that has nothing to do with, so that is just an admission requirement. Am I right, to Eton College? The student will not get any credit transfer, anything like that. So it's basically, we will take that and use as an admission requirement to get into Eton College.
Yes.
So the Pathway University has no say in our admission requirement. All the Pathway University says is the student must have completed the Eton College Diploma program, scored the grade C and above, completed the IELTS. They require a 6.5 overall in their score, and if you have that, then the students will be able to transfer to the Pathway University. How we are taking the students into the Eton College program, the Pathway University has no control about it, because that is actually an admission requirement for Eton College.
Right, Kalai. Sounds good. So basically, NIOS and open learning is accepted at Eton College, and when the student is progressing to university, then they have to complete Eton College with grade B, and they should meet the IELTS requirement, and then they have a smooth progression to university.
Correct. I just have to clarify here is, every course they take in Eton College, they get to get 70% and above. That's the mark. So if they don't have the 70%, then they're going to have issues in getting into the Pathway University or even graduating from Eton College. So 70% is the lowest mark. Now that mark is actually, some of them say it's actually very difficult to achieve. That mark is easily attainable, is easily achievable, the 70%. That's the minimum.
Right, Kalai. So Kalai, I think we have answered most of the questions now. So I would you like to thank the audience now?
Yeah, thank you for actually attending this webinar. It was a great opportunity to speak to most of y'all. Looking forward to the webinar, next webinar. I don't know when. I think it is actually on the 28th or 27 or 28. I can't remember.
Yes, Kalai. I'll share the details. Yes.
Correct. And all of you, it's evening here, so it's almost getting into about 10:30 in the night. It must be in the morning. I think it should be about 11, getting into 11 o'clock, I believe, in India. Right. So all of you have a great day. Thank you.
Yes. So I hope you all have enjoyed our exclusive webinar of Eton College. We hope the session was informative and you took some learning from the session. Thank you, Kalai, and thank you all the education agents for participating with us in the Premium Agent E-Summit of Eton College. In case you have missed anything, we will be sending you all the details post the session. Till then, take care, stay safe.
Thank you, Kavita. Bye.